Hi guys, Linda here. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. In case if you're new here, thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Linda and I film videos from Lagos, Nigeria. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about what happens after you quit your 9 to 5 job. What happens after you've spent, let's say, 7 to 30 or 40 years, all of your life in corporate, and you are finally retiring or you're quitting and you're transitioning into doing something else, or you're just leaving corporate to go figure out life and then probably take a gap here and come back later on. What happens when you quit corporate? If you want to know what happens, please keep on watching this video. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please click on the subscribe button right below and also turn on the post notification bell right beside the subscribe button so you don't miss future uploads from our YouTube channel. Let's get right into today's video. The first notable thing that happens when you quit your 9 to 5 job is there's this very freeing sense. There's this feeling of freedom that just suddenly comes over you and you're so excited, you're happy, you are very enthusiastic of what the future holds for you. Because imagine dreaming about not having to race to an office every morning, but rather you can just wake up at your time. You can decide to go to the beach in the mornings like I do. You can decide to sleep in and then work later in the day. You're in control of your schedule. You're not working on somebody else's time, but you're working on your own time. So the sense of freedom you're going to feel is going to be so liberating. You'll be so happy. So after the feeling of freedom, there's also going to be that feeling of uncertainty. Yes. So as much as you're very happy about, you're feeling free, you're excited about whatever the future holds, you're loving that freedom, you're loving the sound of the beach, the sounds of the splashing of water, the sounds of the birds. You're enjoying all those beautiful things that you like. You're enjoying being able to go to the gym in the morning, spend 2-3 hours there, come back, go for long walks. You're enjoying your freedom. But after enjoying that freedom, when you get back home, you're going to sit down and be thinking, oh, what next? Oh, where's my next income going to come from? What project am I working on? What business am I doing? Where's my next customer going to come from? When is my next sales going to come? Oh, update this, post this on Instagram, post on your website, update your website. It's that uncertainty that uncertainty eventually sets in, and then you start to you're going back on the same rat race that you were previously on. But it's just that as much as you're not having to be on a corporate race, you're not the one that is now pressuring yourself and not somebody else pressuring you. So as much as you're running away from the pressure, you now become the one pressuring yourself and not somebody else pressuring you. Third thing that happens after you quit your corporate job is you start to realize that some of your friends in corporate, you guys no longer have anything in common and there's really nothing to talk about, because the only thing you guys previously had in common was the fact that you guys worked in the same office, you guys were colleagues for the longest time. But outside of corporate, like, you guys don't have any personal shared values, you guys are not friends. And then it's after the whole corporate thing that you now start to realize that I didn't really vibe with this person, but you're just dealing with the person because you were colleagues and you expected to communicate to the person. And then there'll be people that you probably thought of as friends, but then after you leave, you probably wouldn't get much communication from them, probably because you can be somebody's friend, but the person you're not, you're just their colleague. So definitely there's going to be a falling out, there's going to be a falling away. And then sometimes you might even have people that you regard as your friends, and they might still be trying to communicate with you about their present realities in the same environment that you left them in, and you might not really be interested in that anymore because you've moved on. You're not trying to keep your mind space back there. And by the time the person is trying to talk to you about their what is still like their current realities, and you don't really want to relate to that anymore, you're not really interested, at the end of the day, you guys are definitely going to drift apart. So just know that there's going to be a falling away. And depending on how you exit the company, less of how you live, there's still going to be a falling away. Because whether you like it or not, humans by nature, everybody just, people would only care for what benefits them. If you no longer benefits them in any way, like, oh, bye bye, that's it. That's just how life is. So expect a great falling away. Like people you used to see as friends that you probably like, I don't know if you even think, would I say I never imagined talking to any of my colleagues for the rest of my life, no. But just expect a great falling away. And then if you think that you probably want to still work with some of those people in the future, it might not happen. Because currently right now, like, I have colleagues that I worked with in the first place I ever worked in Lagos, that till today we are still friends. Because that company I worked in Lagos, as much as the pay wasn't fantastic, but we had such a great bond that till today all of us still talk. It might not be all of us, but at least some of us still talk. You still want to catch up with what this person is doing. You still want to use this person's business. Like I remember from the first company I worked in, one of the guys there, he's the one that helps me with my website. Whenever somebody I know needs website services, I'm always referring the person. I'm always referring them over to him because, like, there are certain colleagues. So depending on the culture of the company that you're working in is, if the culture of the work environment is such that it's all fakery, you most likely not be in communication with most of your colleagues after you leave. But if the culture in the workplace is such that you guys have like a real bond, not like the, if it's a real bond, there's still going to be communication, there's still going to be some sort of relationship even after you've left the work environment. And then there's some people that you just don't even feel like, you don't want to continue it because for me, I would say I just didn't want to take my mind back to where I was. So I didn't even mind the falling away. And normally I'm not even the type that even knows how to like keep in touch with people. So just expect it, there's going to be a great falling away. Fourth thing that happens after you quit your job is you start to learn things more effectively. For me, I recall that when I was still on a 9 to 5, I was trying, and I still had my business. I was trying to learn how to make wigs on a sewing machine. But all through the period while I still had my 9 to 5 job and I was still doing my business as a side hustle, I was not able to learn how to make wigs on a sewing machine. But the first week that I quit my 9 to 5 job and I only had my business to rely on, that first week I learned how to make a wig on a sewing machine. So it's just like when you clear your mind, you just clear space in your brain, and then you put all your energy into a particular thing. You now start to learn that new thing more effectively. So it's a case of you focus more on the things that you're more interested in, and you give it to your very best. So you're able to now you're able to be more effective in the new areas that you're focusing on. And then also, all the things you've been procrastinating on, all the things that you've been saying, I'll do this, you now have all the time in the world to focus and get to execute all those things that you've been procrastinating on doing. So the fifth thing that happens when you quit your 9 to 5 job is, of course, if you had like a HMO plan on your 9 to 5 job and you leave your 9 to 5 job, you would no longer have your health insurance plan, because of course, once you quit your job, your health insurance plan is going to be cut off, except you now decide to renew it on your own, and then you're making your monthly payments on your own. So just know that all your access to medical checkups, your routine checkups, let's say you're sick and you need to go see the doctor, all of that is going to be gone. So when you probably have like a health problem, you now have to pay out of pocket. And of course, that is always going to be more expensive, because when it comes to HMOs sort of, they have a bit of subsidizing healthcare for organizations when they have like a bulk of employees registered under the HMO. But when you're just one individual going to get medical services on your own, it's going to be more expensive. So just be ready to pay for more more when it comes to like checking your routine health care. Like for me, I'm very lucky that I'm not the type that falls sick. Like falls sick, I rarely fall sick. The only issues I've had since I quit my 9 to 5 job is I've had paronychia on my thumb, and then also I've also had to work on my teeth. Like I had to do like a root canal. I was recommended to do a root canal, but I decided not to do the root canal because I just felt like I didn't want to do it. So what I just had to do was like refilling of my teeth, and it didn't really cost me so much. So if it was probably under my HMO probably would have charged somewhere around 20K for like scaling and polishing and refilling of teeth. But because I had to pay out of pocket, I paid somewhere around like 90,000 naira to do all of these services. So just be ready to pay more out of pocket. This thing you're going to experience is a sense of relief and also a sense of loss. There's this sense of relief that is going to be so all over you. Like the moment you realize that this person can't even call me anymore, that person that's always harassing you and putting pressure on you for this and that, they can't even call you anymore. Or if they mistakenly call you, just tell them I've left the company or wrong number. You just go crazy and say whatever you want to see. Like so there's a sense of relief you feel that you're no longer being pressured. That stress of having to struggle to get to the office, let's say in the morning it's raining, it's cold, you don't want to have to go out, but because you have this job, you have to get under that rain and find your way to get to the office. That sense of relief, and then also the loss of this, also the feeling of loss, knowing that you're not going to be getting that monthly drops that normally comes with having like a steady job. So it's a two-way feeling. You're going to feel relieved, and you're also going to feel a sense of loss. The seventh thing that happens is that you now become open to a lot of opportunities. You're able to delve into areas that you always wish that you could delve into. Like for me, after I quit my 9 to 5 job, I went to Toastmasters International and started learning how to speak in public and improve my communication skills. I also delved into acting for television. I may have not done lots of projects because even the film industry, so if you don't, but when you don't have a known face, it's ghetto. Though I would say like it's more like you have to be doing more background acting jobs, or like all these YouTube movies, and it's not always like it's not always steady, which is good for me because I wouldn't want to have to do like jobs like every day. I would rather like do work on a movie project like let's say once in a month or twice in a month, because most times when you go on set, you literally have to spend hours. Like the wait period is usually so long, and it gets really exhausting. So you're able to delve into other areas that you've been wishing you could do. It opens you up to more opportunities. You're able to explore and do all the things that you always wished that you could do. And you need to also, the eighth thing you need to prepare for after you quit your job is you need to realize that in case you want to go back to corporate in the future, how do you fill up the space in your resume? Luckily for me, after I quit like the 9 to 5 thing and I went and joined Toastmasters International, I was lucky that I was fortunate to be selected to serve as the Vice President Public Relations. So that was like a full 1 year of me working as the VPPR for Toastmasters. And that's something that I can add to my resume as something that I did. So I don't have that wide gap of periods which I didn't work. And then there was also like another job that I did, teaching. So you need to find a way to ensure that you don't have a gap in your resume. Like if I was to put that I was a content creator or I had a hair business on my resume, I don't think it would really make sense in like the corporate kind of environment. So I needed to think about things that I would do that would fill in that gap period for me in my resume. So think about that when you are quitting your job or having like a gap period before you get back into corporate in the future. But then at the end of the day, there's always going to be a way Don't feel that there's, when you don't see an option of what you can do, that there's no way. There's always a way. Even if you don't have anything to fill in your gap here, there's always going to be somebody that will employ you, even if you have no experience. Last thing you're going to have to get used to is the adjustment period of knowing that, oh, you no longer have to run to an office, and then getting used to the fact that there's no more regular streams of income. You have to always, like, strive hard to make sure that the money comes in, because when you're on a 9 to 5 job, it's the people at the top that go about chasing the money, and you just do the routine things that you do, and then they pay you. But when you're now like your boss, yeah, you are the CEO of your life, you don't have to be the one chasing, looking for this money. So the beauty is, sometimes you get to make a whole lot of money, and then sometimes you might not make a lot of money, and then sometimes you might not make money. So you just get to adjust to that new life. And then most certainly, of course, your stress level is going to go down. No matter how difficult it might be to run your own business, at least you know that the pressure, you're the one putting yourself under pressure. When you're the one putting yourself under pressure, it's different from when somebody else is putting you under pressure. So it's just going to be something that's going to be a lot more easier for you to manage and adjust to. Then the final thing you need to also prepare yourself for is the fact that, let's say, all through the years of you, like, being in a corporate environment, and you probably supported people when they were getting married, or probably when they had children, or when they had, like, they lost someone and whatever. By the time you're no longer in the same environment with them, and you might experience a loss, or let's say you get married or have kids, don't expect the same people that you probably, like, showed up for then to show up for you, because at the end of the day, they no longer need you. Do you get? So try as much as possible to sort of create a new community for yourself. If you're somebody that likes community, if you're somebody that loves your own company, you wouldn't really be bothered about that. But at the end of the day, God would always send you people. Yeah, God would always send you people. Yeah, God would always send you people. Yeah, so guys, that's it for this video. I really hope that you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, be bold, have courage, live a positive life, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, love. Adios. Ciao. Ciao. Speaking Portuguese. And yes, I've been learning a new language. I've been learning Portuguese. I'm trying to learn Portuguese. I'm also trying to learn Japanese. I'm trying to learn more languages. I want my brain to be busy all the time.